Hello once again, all my fellow patriots and you filthy leftist stalkers out there. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela Box. You're watching Angela's Soapbox, where I say what you are thinking. And you might be able to tell in my voice that I'm coming off of a cold. No, it's not coronavirus, liberals, so don't get excited. I will be just fine. I mean, if a sexy, raspy voice is distracting to you, sorry. All right. Today's plastic straw is dedicated, for those of you who don't know, I always dedicate a plastic straw to a filthy leftist who deserves it. But this plastic straw I'm dedicating to a group of filthy leftists, the Bernie Bros. Thank you, Bernie Bros. You are the gift that keeps on giving. And, I will not be rounded up into a gulag, so you'll have to come and grab me kicking and screaming to do that. Speaking of the Bernie Bros, they put him over the top this week in New Hampshire, which I was very happy to see. And the irony is with the New Hampshire primary and all the primaries that are coming up, well, first of all, Democrats are completely disparaging the heartland as they always do, and their racism comes out. They're like, oh, those white people in Iowa and New Hampshire. It is so shocking to me how the left continues to use race as a cudgel to divide people, but it's all they have, so I guess, go for it, whatever. But because of 2016 and how the DNC tried to screw over Bernie, they made new rules, and they're going to proportionally give the delegates to the candidates. So instead of winner take all, which is what it was in 2016 and for every time before, now they're going to do it where they proportion them out to how many votes you get. So it's going to be basically a broker convention in Milwaukee in July, which I am already pulling out the popcorn for, because if Bernie Sanders gets denied the nomination by the midget Mike Bloomberg, who is going to try and buy the nomination, it's going to be such an excrement show watching the various Democrat factions fight it out. On one hand, we have the super progressive, lunatic wing of the Democrat Party who want open borders and, all drugs legalized and taxes through the roof and the Green New Deal and, conservatives rounded up and shot, versus the less abhorrent wing of the Democrat Party who thinks someone like Amy Klobuchar has a chance in winning. She does not, but they're now putting all their hopes in the midget Mike Bloomberg. Speaking of Mike Bloomberg, I have a bone to pick with people on our side who are taking his comments about stop and frisk and where police go to fight crime. They're acting very indignant about that Mike Bloomberg, this tape that he had unearthed talking about that where the police go is where the crime is, etc., which of course that's where they should be. The thing that Mike Bloomberg did that was wrong, I guess you could say, is that he painted everybody with quite a broad brush and used some not so very nice language to talk about minority communities. But can we be real about what's going on here? If we want to really start dealing with cultural issues of why certain cultures are certain ways, we need to really have honest conversations about that. And stop and frisk absolutely did work. And of course the police should be in the communities where most of the crime is, because guess what? The massive percentage of people who are affected by those crimes are minorities. And if we're going to pretend like that's not true, that's just being dishonest, and that's playing into the race hustlers' hands, and I don't think we should do that. I think the police should go where the crime is, but we can't say it's only in minority communities. And I think that's where Trump world can kind of capitalize on that, because when you say something like all or none, that's when you can get into a little bit of a pickle. And Mike Bloomberg is now seeing that those comments come back to haunt him. But again, is he wrong though? Not really. And I think, I got in a lot of trouble for saying black culture needs to fix itself. And maybe I spoke inartfully, but I think what I meant by that is culturally, if you raise children to hate police and be disrespectful to teachers, or call white people devils and act like crazy zoo animals throwing chairs and throwing desks, which is what I experienced when I was a teacher, it's not productive to building people of good character who are going to function in society. And that doesn't mean white society. It means society. You know, there is a civil society, and do you want to be a part of it or do you not? And I think that's what, when we talk about children who are in failing government schools, wanting a school choice for their children to give them a chance to succeed, that's what the school choice movement is all about. And so when you say programs like Stop and Frisk are racist or racial profiling, it is, but it isn't, because you have to look at where is the crime taking place, who is doing the majority of the crime, and you know, good or bad, that's in minority communities. So if you don't want those police officers doing programs like Stop and Frisk, you need to fix those communities. Sorry, it's just reality. And you know, white devils like me aren't allowed to say things like that, but oh well, the truth is the truth, as Donald Trump would say, and you can't escape the truth. So Mike Bloomberg getting in trouble from the left for his comments. Our side needs to dial back the criticism and maybe say, how you said it wasn't maybe the right way, but was he wrong? No, he wasn't. So whatever. But now that he's running as a woke Democrat, he has to disavow everything logical he ever said. So whatever. Which brings us to another race hustler who is finally looking like we're going to have some justice for Jussie Smollett, as Dave Chappelle so brilliantly called him. Oh, this has been a year in the making. So all of us know that Jussie Smollett, about a year ago, little over a year ago this time, decided to perpetrate a fake hate crime on himself and then smear half the country by saying that it was people in MAGA hats, put a noose around his neck and yelled, "This is MAGA country, you F word and you N word," and then put some bleach on him. In Chicago, in the middle of January, minus 20 degrees. Sure, Jan, sure. This whole thing stunk from the beginning, but of course every leftist jumped on the bandwagon that, you know, once again, all Trump supporters are these racist, homophobic dirtbags who are just tormenting poor Jussie Smollett, trying to go out and get a sandwich in the middle of the night. Again, sure, Jan. So now it looks like that Jussie is going to finally have to face some justice. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I wish I knew how to edit and I would edit that burp out, but whatever. Anyway, Jussie Smollett keeps calling him Smollett. Jussie Smollett is finally going to be indicted. He has been indicted for 6 counts of disorderly conduct. And I imagine that there's going to be some federal crimes attached, because he did send a domestic terrorist threat through the mail, and it was a hoax, so that makes it a federal crime. Another reason to bring out the popcorn. So many amazing things happening and this is what I like to touch on a lot. And my article this week, by the way, I forgot to mention it at first, but it is linked down below. Please share it. Please comment, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. I always forget to ask, do the normal YouTube housekeeping things I always forget to do, but whatever. My article this week is entitled, The Wheels Have Come Off the Democrats' Bus. And it kind of goes into how when you first practice to deceive, I can't even think of what that is. I'm still in the throes of this head cold, so my synapses are not firing as quickly as they normally do. When first you practice to deceive, here's what happened. There it is. Oh, the tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. And it really is true, because it's all going to come back on you. Karma is the bee, and karma is coming for the Democrats. And speaking of karma and karmic justice that is so richly deserved on the hoax perpetrators, we're going from the Jussie Smollett hoax to the Democrat hoax, the Robert Mueller hoax, the impeachment hoax, the Russia hoax, the Ukraine hoax. There has never been a time in our history where justice is more desperately needed than now, because the people who tried to overthrow a duly elected president and are still trying to do it need some justice meted out to them. And in the last couple of days, the Democrats are once again squawking that President Trump is trying to obstruct justice. because Roger Stone received a 9-year prison sentence for basically sending out a tweet congratulating WikiLeaks jokingly on getting those emails out and for being a Trump surrogate of some sort. It is absolutely outrageous when you think of someone like Paul Manafort, who's in solitary confinement, who we now know that the black ledger used to convict him is another hoax. Roger Stone, who did nothing wrong, all he did was misremember like an email or something just completely absurd. And people like John Brennan, Andrew McCabe, James Comey, James Clapper, all these Barack Obama, Loretta Lynch, Hillary Clinton, disgusting people who go out and continually lie, deceive, lie under oath, lie to the American people over and over and over again. Adam Schiff, the whole lot of them. And I mean, I am just fired up about this because the left is trying to say President Trump is obstructing justice by trying to get Roger Stone's sentence reduced. No, what happened is Bill Barr is in there. He has appointed Timothy O'Shea, I believe is his name, to oversee the D.C. swamp. And they're saying, wow, this is really messed up. And I think the more that's going to be coming out about FISA and the D-class that's hopefully on its way, Bill Barr, John Durham, Tim O'Shea, whoever else is just saying, this is so unbelievably corrupt. What they did to Roger Stone, what they did to Paul Manafort, and the fact that these swamp creatures are still out roaming the streets, being enabled by their disgusting media, who are never held accountable for spreading the lies, being a part of the coup, a part of the hoax, time and again for 4 years. When will justice be served for these disgusting people? We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I have to believe that God has his hand in this. I do know karma is real. I do know you reap what you sow. And we know that the Democrats, the media, the deep state, the bureaucratic swamp have, for the last 4 years, tried to oust this duly elected president and smear his supporters and his surrogates, bankrupt people that have surrounded Trump and have done everything other nefarious that we know that they have done. I have to believe that justice is coming for them. It has to. It has to. Because we got to get that karmic wheel back in motion and back on the right side of the good and the light and the truth. I hope. So, from me to you, that's all for this week. I hope y'all liked the video. Please, again, like, subscribe, do all that crap YouTube wants you to do. And I hope you have a good Valentine's Day. And if you don't have a Valentine, be your own Valentine, because you know what? Without loving yourself, you can't love anybody else. And I think there's a lot of lack of self-love. There's a lot of fake self-love and people, you know, body positivity and blah, blah, blah. And don't fat shame me and body shame me. And, you know, Lizzo walking around with her rolls of fat hanging out, acting like that's like beautiful. It's not beautiful. It's unhealthy. There's fake self-love and then there's real self-love. And everyone is a child of God. Everyone has a soul. Everyone has worth and is worth something. And if you're feeling down about yourself, if you're feeling depressed, if you feel overweight or, you know, hopeless, it's never too late to take positive steps to fix your life. And again, once you start loving yourself, other people will love you too. So that's just from me to you. Happy Valentine's Day. And let's hope the continued Democrat excrement show just keeps on rolling along and we get the broker convention of our dreams in July, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.